Hello friends, today we are going to listen to the wonderful explanation of the movie The Black Demon. It's a wonderful English movie, released in 2023. I hope you all enjoy this film. In this movie, we will see a wonderful story about a big shark, Paul, Merle, a man named Chaya, and Paul's family. This movie stars Josh Lucas in the lead role. So let's hear the main story. The movie begins, and we are shown the oil rig platform of a company. It was situated in the middle of the sea. Here, two men were sitting on a boat near that platform who were going to go into the water and do some work on that oil rig. One of them goes into the water, goes into the depths of the water, and turns on something. That thing looked like a bomb, but then a very big shark attacked that man. His companion, who was sitting in the boat, was waiting for his companion. His boat was also shaking. He did not understand anything. He turned on the light and started looking here and there. Then he sees a very big shark coming towards him, which has very big teeth. Seeing him, he gets scared. That shark also attacked that man. After this, we are shown the Mexican city. We see a man, Paul, who was coming here in a car with his family to the Mexican city. His wife and son were in his family. They now stop by the beach. Paul's son sees the same platform in the binoculars that we saw at the beginning of the story. Actually, Paul was an inspector, and he came here to investigate the same place so that his work could be done and he could enjoy the trip with his family. Now they reach a town in Mexico, which looks very strange. When Paul meets that place with old pictures, he finds out that the pictures he had were taken many years ago. He now goes to some people there and says that I have come from a company that is made in the middle of our company's platform, the sea. I have been sent here to investigate it. And maybe our company had also made this town. But no one answers him. Paul says, "Hello, can anyone understand my language?" Then a man here says whose name was Melra. He says that our town has become like this because of your company. He was not answering Paul properly. Then Paul's wife gets out of the car and starts explaining to Melra. "Look, we have come here on a holiday trip. We just need a place to stay." She also gives money to Melra. Now he takes the money and takes them to a hotel. When these people were going, Melra puts some money in front of his deity on the way, for which these people used to worship here. Now the passing son of Paul also picks up an idol from there, whose eye was covered, and puts his chocolate in its place. Melra had now taken these people to the hotel, but they did not like this hotel. But what would these people do? Apart from this, they did not have any other places. Paul's son takes off his mask of fire, gives it to Melra, and says thank you. Melra goes and tells Paul to take care of himself and his family too. Paul says, "Why are you saying this? Is there any danger here?" Melra says, "Yes, Black Demon." Saying this, he went away. But Paul does not pay attention to any of his words. When Paul gets a call from the company that he will have to go to the same oil rig platform now, he tells his wife and says, "Do not worry, I will come back before evening. You take care of the children and yourself. And if possible, try to find another hotel." Now he takes his luggage and reaches the seaside, where the ship sent by the company is waiting for him. And the guard who was sitting on the shore of the sea, Paul, says to him that you sent a message from the radio to that platform that I was coming there. By doing this, the guard refuses. Now that Paul has given the picture to keep in the record, the guard tears it as soon as Paul leaves. Why was he doing this? We will find out later. Paul now meets the man who had to take him to the platform in the boat. Paul goes and asks him, "I don't know what has happened to this town, which looks completely changed and deserted." That man says that fear has driven everyone away from here. And this fear is of a very big shark, which everyone knows by the name of Black Demon. Paul does not believe him after hearing this story about that man and starts making fun of him. The man who was driving the boat now stops the boat at the pier in the middle of the sea, and he himself stops there and says to Paul, "I can't go any further. Now you will have to go alone from here." On the other side, Paul's wife was not feeling well. She starts feeling everything strange. In the hotel where Paul's wife and children were, a man sitting in the hotel who had drunk a lot comes and starts harassing them and misbehaving with Paul's daughter. Seeing this, Paul's wife hits the bottle in the man's head and runs out of the hotel with her children. When they all reach their car, they see that someone has torn the tire of their car with a knife. Now she quickly runs towards the boat and tells the man who was driving the boat to go to the platform. Where his husband Paul had gone, the man was refusing to take him there. Paul's wife gives him money and says, "Please help us." When that man saw that some people were behind this family, he was ready to help them. On the other side, Paul is shown, who was unknowingly moving towards the platform oil rig alone. When he reaches that platform, he sees that his condition is very bad and the water around him is red. He was finding these things very strange. He comes down and starts making noises. Is anyone here? But no one answers him. He goes into a cabin. So there he found a doc and two men, one of whom is called Shadow. He was very angry and scared. He was holding things to hit in his hands. Then Paul tells him about himself. "Don't be afraid, I have come here to investigate the inspection. Is all this okay or not?" But one of them, Shadow, says, "My friend, it's too late for you to come." Then he hears the sound of a boat from the outside. When he looked from a distance, there was Paul's family in it. Paul's son, who was sitting in the boat, was watching all the scenes from a distance. He sees a very large black shadow in the water that passed under his boat. Then, on the platform with Paul, Shadow, and his companion, he realized the danger. They start killing things in the jungle of the platform so that they do not harm the black demon, the shark, or the boat in which Paul's family was. But Paul does not understand anything about it. He asks both of them, "What are you both doing? After all, will you tell me something about what is happening here?" After a while, Paul's family reached the platform safely. But the boatman who brought them here fell into the water. Paul's daughter fell into the water because she was standing on the boat. Paul's daughter sees a lot of strange things in the water, including the cut parts of the human body. That's why the black demon, who was actually a very big shark, was coming to attack him. But before that, everyone had saved Paul's daughter and taken her out. Now Paul and his wife ask both of them, "What is all this?" Among them, Shadow takes out his binoculars and gives them to his wife, in which she sees that the boat that had come to leave them here has a very big shark who has swallowed the boat along with the boatman. Seeing this scene, she was very scared. Shadow says that the one who came here once cannot go back, nor can anyone contact anyone from here. Whoever tries to go back, that black demon, i.e., a big shark, will eat that person in a jolt. And that's why my partner and I are staying here. Because even if we contact anyone on the radio, no one answers us. No one is ready to come here. And I am surprised at how you guys came here. Paul still did not believe anything. He now starts checking the platform with both of them, from which he comes to know that nothing here is working properly. Shadow and his partner Paul say that everything has gone wrong because of the shark's attack. The shark attacks when it wants, and the company also knows that nothing is right here. But they do not try to fix it. Paul now tells them to fix that platform first, for which they have to go into the water. But Paul's wife does not like this idea at all. She asks Shadow, "Why does the shark come here, and why is it killing the people who come here?" That man says that this location is so deep in the water that it was forbidden to do all this. "We did not care about the rules. We built this platform. We tried to spoil the nature created by God. I think this is a punishment sent by God for us." Paul starts laughing at his words. Shadow says in anger, "I am telling the truth, Paul. Human nature spoils the things created by nature." After which, they were all ready to use the steam capsule and go into the water. Meanwhile, the shark was also colliding with the platform. Shadow's partner sits in that capsule and tries to fix the platform by going into the depths of the water. Then he sees a bomb lying there, which we saw at the beginning of the story. This means they came to destroy this platform. They also realized this danger. Shadow's partner, who was in the water, sees the sight of human corpses around him. Parts of his body were visible to him alive, which was just a hallucination of his. Nothing else. That's when he feels the danger coming to him. He sees the shark, so he sits in the capsule again. But the shark slaps the capsule. It was taking him into the depths. Paul was trying to stop the capsule by looking up. But he could not. When he came out, Paul asked him about his partner. At that time, the body of Shadow's partner was visible above the water. When Paul tries to get him out, he thinks he may be alive. He takes it out of the water and finds out. Half of it was missing. His legs were sharp. Seeing this, everyone got scared and started crying. Paul's daughter also saw all this. She was also scared to see him. Paul comes inside with his wife. They were talking about the future of their children. And they think about what they will do now. That's when Paul shouts at his wife and says, "Why did you come here? I left you in a safe place. Why did you come here with the children?" Paul's wife heard him and started crying. "And it says that at the place where you left us, a drunk man was bothering our daughter. What would I do? I had to save my children and bring them to you." In the meantime, Paul's children came to him. His son asks about Shadow's partner, who is now dead. Because he had become a good friend of Paul's son. He had also given the locket with shark teeth to Paul's son, which he was wearing at the time. Paul's daughter, i.e., his sister, tells him not to worry, he is busy working in the water. He will come soon. After which, Paul was sitting near Shadow and regretted it, but it was just his hallucination. These were his thoughts. But he quickly runs the flare gun, which Shadow was refusing him. He says, "What are you doing? These are just your thoughts, there is nothing there." When Paul comes inside, his son asks him, "Dad, are we going to die here?" and tells everyone a story. Paul listens to his son and says that nothing like this will happen, we will all be saved very soon. On the other side, Paul's wife and children were looking for something. At the same time, Paul's son finds some dolls. He was trying to do something himself. He puts all the dolls in the boat, which he had made himself, and prays to God that he please forgive us. And he left the boat in the water. "Let us go from here." But a doll fell into the water from that boat. Paul goes to the police station, where he finds some documents, from which he comes to know that Paul already knew that this platform was not good, but still he told the company that everything was fine here. On the other side, Paul's daughter was looking for her brother, who fell into the water due to the collision with that shark, and started screaming for help. Hearing this, everyone runs to help him. Paul's wife jumped into the water, and Paul was trying to divert the attention of that shark who was coming towards him. He recognized his son and wife, but Paul's wife was upset with him. She says, "Paul, I have known about all your false contracts. You knew that nothing was right here, yet you signed those papers. You said that everything was fine. You knew that because of you, Paul's life was in danger. You are the real monster." Paul tells his wife, "Look, I did everything for the company and for our benefit. So that I can get a lot of money and live a good life with my family." Meanwhile, that black demon shark was under them, and the bomb that was placed below was just an hour away from exploding. Paul had also repaired the generator, but he was finding it difficult to escape from here. He talks to the Shadow and says, "Yes, I am the one who proved those papers that everything was fine." But here, it turns out that the bomb that was placed below this platform was also set up by the company to kill Paul. This was all a trap for them so that Paul could come here and they could kill him. And the money they had to give Paul in return for the contract, they did not have to pay. Shadow hears everything and tells Paul, "Do not lose hope. Find a way." Paul was doing all this while the Shadow was repairing the radio. Here, Paul finds out that the Shadow was doing all this just to help him. He tells him that I will go under the water, and I will remove the bomb that is placed under this platform and take it away from here so that the black demon shark will come after me and then take my family. He says no, everything happened because of me, so I will fix it. Now, when there are 10 minutes left until the explosion of the bomb, he meets his wife before going into the water and lies that I am going to take that bomb so that it can come in handy on the way, and his friend says goodbye to the shadow and jumps into the water. Now, quickly, the shadow started going to the boat, saving Paul's family. Paul had also realized that the demon shark was coming after him, and the shark was following him to escape from him. He was hiding in a net. Then Paul's oxygen started running out. He talks to his wife through the radio and says that I can't go with you now. On which his wife tells him, Paul, what will we do alone? And he also talks to the shadow and says that everything will be fine. Paul also gave him those papers that he had signed so that the shadow could reach many people. After which, he finally says goodbye to his family. Paul's children were very sad because their dad had given his life to save his children and wife. Now, when Paul came out of that net, the demon shark came and took Paul alive. The bomb that Paul had is now exploding, and along with Paul, that demon shark also died. During this time, Paul's family also managed to contact some people. The sailor brought his motorboat there, saved everyone, and took it from there. While going, these people see that the platform is completely destroyed and falls into the water. Everything was fine with Paul's sacrifice. He saved his children, his family, and the lives of many people by giving his life. And with this, the story of this film ends here.